Hi, Assalamualaikum. First of all, today I want to brief you the definition of our team is Neurolinguistics. According to my research, neurolinguistics is a pretty new area in the psychology that's look how language is connected to how the brain works. According to the website Science Direct, in the book Neuropsychology of Language, written by H. Whittaker in 2017, it studies how brain understand, produce, and learn language by focusing on the brain system. This research could help interviewers by giving them a clues about how eye movement are linked to the how brain process the language. It also show that people think and process information in different ways, and that everyone usually has their own favorite ways of doing it. That's all. Let's move to our concept of neurolinguistics. Oh, wait a minute again. Okay. For the first concept of our team is a tip of the tongue phenomenon. Tip of the tongue phenomenon happen when someone can almost remember a word, but they can quite get it out. According to Brown and McNeil in 1966, during this state, people are often able to recall the word, like a number of syllables, a few letters, or where the stress fall in the word. Even if they can say the word, can say the full word. The research showed that the closer someone is remembering the word, the more accurate these small details become. This partition memory called as a generic recall. According to Brown and McNeil in 1966, explained that our brain store word features like mental dictionary, where some part of the beginning and the ending of the word are remembered better and faster than the others. Researchers believe that our mind works like a dictionary, where some features of word are easy to remember because they are stored earlier and connected better in our memory. These features are also when once we pay the most attention to when we hear or we read the word. In fact, the beginning and ending of the word seem to carry more information than the middle. Okay. For the relation between the tip of the tongue and neurolinguistics, tip of the tongue phenomenon is important to neurolinguistics because it shows how the brain store and retrieve the language, and it also gives neurolinguistic clues how language were organized by the brain, how we access the word, and why language break down sometimes. Neurolinguistics is like a dictionary, or I can call it is a library of the word of our mind. Meanwhile, tip of the tongue is more like a place that we producing the word. That's why there has some error when we try to say the word because our brain is working on processing the word to deliver to our tongue. Sometimes brain can give the word, but it will give us the sound of the word that we heard before to help tongue produce the word. Sometimes it gives the meaning of the word to make us remember the word. That's why tip of the tongue is related to the neurolinguistic. Okay, let's move to the real world example. You can see here, I put a video in there. You can see here for 50 seconds.
What are those things called?
Oh, isn't it like a game? There's like a game that you do beats and the wooden thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Abacus.
Okay, is that? Alright. The video that I showed you before, it was from YouTube, named Science Central. In the video, there are a group of people trying to do an social experiment about the tip of the tongue in the real situation. They will ask a random question to the random people on the street to analyze that they can answer the question or not. If they can answer the question, so they don't experience the tip of the tongue. If they can't answer the question, that means they're experiencing the tip of the tongue. That's how they analyze the real situation of tip of the tongue. So let's analyze the video. In the video, we can see 3 people trying to answer the question. The question we put it here. You can see the question here. Okay. So to analyze, we took 2 people in the video. That's the first guy with the sunglasses and the second guy. The first guy you can see that he's trying to describe the word. The word that they try to say is abacus. Abacus. So, the first guy with sunglasses, he's trying to describe the word. He's struggling, and he's failed to say the word. But you can see the second guy, he's not struggling to say the word, but he's trying to remember the sound of the word in his mind. So after a few minutes of recording the word in mind, he finally did it to say the word abacus. Here we can see that how you can see that the guy with the sunglasses used to describe the word as a replacement to recall the word. Meanwhile, the the other guys trying to remembering the sound of the word by to replace as a replacement to remember the word. So this we can say that's how the tip of the tongue phenomenon works. So that's all for me. Let's move to the next concept.
Thank you, brother, for your explanation. Now, we will move on to the next concept, which is tongue slips that are closely related to how our brain processes language. So, what is tongue slips? According to a study published in the Humanities and Social Sciences Review, tongue slips is defined as an unintended habitual deviation from a speech plan. These errors occur not because of lack of knowledge, but due to temporary lapse in the brain's language processing during speech production. Tongue slips are closely related to the theme of language and the brain because they occur during the brain's fast and complex process of producing speech. Before we speak, the brain must choose the right words, arrange them correctly, and send signals to the muscles involved in talking. All of this happens in milliseconds. Sometimes, if the brain retrieves a similar sounding word too quickly or misorders part of speech, it results in a slip. There are different types of tongue slips such as plans, anticipation, omission, and substitution. Today, I'll focus on substitution, where a speaker accidentally uses the wrong word, often because it's similar in sound, structure, or meaning. Now, let's take a look at a real-world example. This clip comes from a campaign rally by Donald Trump on April 18, 2016 in Buffalo, New York.
It's very close to my heart because I was down there and I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
Okay, so this is a classic substitution slip. While talking about the 9/11 terrorist attacks, Trump accidentally said 7-Eleven, which is the name of a popular convenience store in the US. Why? Because 7-Eleven is a highly familiar and frequently used phrase in American culture. The brain may have accessed it automatically due to its rhythm and stored frequency. Both terms involve numbers, have a similar format, and deeply embedded in memory, making the mix-up more likely under pressure. In conclusion, tongue slips like this are a normal part of speaking and help reveal how fast and complex our brain's language system really is. They are not just funny mistakes, they are real clues into how language lives in the brains. That's all from me. Now I will pass for the next concept to Sister Hani.
Thank you, Sister SYAIMA, on your explanation. Now we will move on to the next part, which is bilingualism. According to absco.com, bilingualism is the ability to know and use two languages, and it often extends to multilingualism, where an individual knows 3 or more languages. Multilingualmontessori.org said that there are 3 types of bilingualism. First one, simultaneous bilingualism. Second, successive bilingualism. And third, receptive bilingualism. Simultaneous bilingualism is when you learn 2 languages at the same time with mostly equal emphasis given to both languages. Successive bilingualism is when a second language is introduced after a first language. Third, receptive bilingualism is when you can understand 2 languages but only speak in one. Bilingualism is closely linked to the theme language and the brain, as it deals with how the brain handles, stores, and processes more than one language. First, bilinguals use the same main brain areas like Broca's and Wernicke's for both languages, but how much these areas overlap depends on when and how they learned the second language. Earlier learning usually leads to more overlap. Second, bilingual brains are more active in areas that control thinking and focus, like the prefrontal cortex, because they manage two languages. This connects to how the brain coordinates speech using areas like the arcuate fasciculus and motor cortex. Third, bilinguals often experience the tip of the tongue phenomenon more because having two languages can make it harder to quickly find the right word. This links to how the brain stores and retrieves words based on sound. Fourth, in bilinguals with aphasia, one language may be affected more than the other. This depends on how fluent they are in each language and how often they use them, showing how the brain manages and spreads both languages. Fifth, in diacritic listening, bilinguals may hear better with one ear depending on which language is used, especially if the language sounds very different. In this video,
Ben, say it like this. I want to eat this. 이렇게 하는 거야.
are a boy named William who speaks two languages at the same time. William Hamilton is a child with a mixed marriage. His father is an Australian while his mother is a Korean. He is growing up using two languages, which is English and Korean, which is related to simultaneous bilingualism. Ben, say like this. I want to eat this. 이거 가는 거야. The sentence is when William taught his little brother to talk in English, where William used Korean and English in a phrase. He was using simultaneous bilingualism. As I said before, simultaneous bilingualism is when you learn two languages at the same time, with mostly equal emphasis given to both languages. He taught in Korean with his mother, while English with his father. That's all from me.
On to the next part is phonics aphasia. According to American Speech Language History Association, ASSA, aphasia is a language disorder that affects how people communicate. So, what is phonics aphasia? Well, it's a condition where people have trouble to understand language. It happens when the left side of the brain called phonics area gets damaged. So, how can we recognize people with phonics aphasia? First of all, they talk too much but don't make sense at all. They often use wrong words or even make up their own words. Secondly, they don't understand others well. It is because they find it difficult to understand spoken or written language. So, what are the causes of phonics aphasia? Well, it is most often caused by stroke, and it can also happen from a head injury, tumor, or even brain infection. Here is the real-world example of phonics aphasia.
And say baseball player, baseball Okay. Caterpillar, cataloop. Okay.
As you can see here, the doctor asked the patient to say baseball player, but the patient did not manage to say it. It also happened to the word caterpillar, where the patient did not manage to say it as well. Okay, that's all. On to the next part.
Oh, hey guys. So today I will talk about Broca aphasia. And what is Broca aphasia? According to the Neurology Organization in 1978, Broca aphasia is a language disorder that makes it hard to get words out or form complete sentences. So damage specifically limited to the Broca areas, which is at the left hemisphere in the brain, cause an initial inability to speak fluently, leaving behind some difficulty with clear and thoughtful speech, such as being unable to speak, repeating with some same words, and making grammatical error, also known as a grammatic. Usually, it comes from a stroke and a blood, when a blood vessel in the brain is blocked or burst. Alright, so we were talking about the relationship between the themes and the concept. So, what is the relations between neurolinguistics and Broca aphasia? According to Rohaida and Zuraini, scholars from the Journal of US-China Public Administrator in 2018, neurolinguistics is a broad field dedicated to understanding the brain's role in language, encompassing how we process, how we produce, and comprehend it. Broca aphasia, a specific language disorder arising from damage to Broca's area in the frontal lobe, It's a significant focus within the neurolinguistics. By studying the impact of the neurological damage on speech production, grammar, and sentence formation, neurolinguists gain critical insight into the specific broadcast area and its connection to the other language, what we call it, language-related brain regions, ultimately contributing to a deeper understanding of the neural basis of language and informing rehabilitation effects. So right now, I will present the word example. Alright, see you after this.
She's... I can't... My nephew, yeah, my nephew.
She's your nephew?
Yes, nephew, and now she's also a nephew? Niece. I meant niece.
Alright guys, so we begin. So the previous real example is the video I just showed. It's a Netflix documentary titled My Beautiful Broken Brain. It is a personal documentary following Lodge's sudden journeys after she experienced a hemorrhagic stroke at the age of 34. The film vividly portrays her struggle with aphasia, visual processing issues, and overwhelming sensory input as the navigates the rehabilitations and visual processing issues. So, with the help of the filmmaker, Sophie Robinson, and neurologist Dr. Afonso Linas, Lodge briefly documents her challenge of Lodge briefly documents her challenge and gradual progress, offering an intimate and moving looks as the brain, resilience, and the complexities of offering and recovery. So, after a brain injury, after looking at thoroughly, we can see that Lodge is having difficulties saying what she wants to say. For example, if you see in the videos, when she wants to say niece, but instead of that, she stutters and said nephew. You can see that in the brain of the you can see that the correction of it. So indeed, observing Lodge difficulty in finding the word. Consistent with Broca aphasia, according to the National Library of Medicine in 2023, this type of aphasia resulting from damage to Broca area often manifests as halting, a thoughtful speech where individual struggles to retrieve the correct words, sometimes producing related but incorrect words or grammatical errors, as we know that is a grammatic. So even though this preparation, even though that when they want to say something but they can't. So it shows that even though their comprehension might be relative intact, but the damage of the Broca's area makes it difficult what to say because it can't be produced. Thank you.